Some people wanna feel the world is really love song. What's wrong with that? I'd like to know, 'cause here I go again. Hi, I'm Lisa. I am the ukulele fool, foolishly believing that silly love songs and ukulele is a perfect match. You only need 6 basic chords for this song, and I'll go over some fingering suggestions to make those chord transitions easier. Most of this song has this chord progression in it. So when you're going from the C to the E minor 7, I suggest that you just bring this finger up to the 2nd fret on your A string and then plop your, what finger is that? That's your middle finger on the C string on the 2nd fret. Why? Because then it makes it easier to go to an F. We also have an E minor 7 that goes to a D minor. So I just believe in minimizing the amount of movement that you have to do to make those chord transitions. If you wanted to strum this whole thing with an island strum, down, down, up, down, up, down, be my guest. There is nothing wrong with that. If that is your jam, I recommend that you stop here and skip to the History Nerds section and do the play along, my singing tips that follow that. If you would like to elevate your playing and do this more like I would do this if I was in a performance, stick around. I've got some really cool tips for you. The strum that I would recommend for this is not an island strum. I want something more of a rock sound, and Paul McCartney is known for kind of having this boppy, happy sound, and I want to kind of mush those together. So the modified bouncy strum is the ticket for that. Let's play this chord progression slowly with the modified bouncy strum. 1, 2, here we go. C, C, down, up, E minor 7, down, up, F, 2, down, up. Do it again. C, C, down, up, E minor 7, down, up, F, down, up. So let's practice that. Just the same thing, just a little bit faster. 1, no, not a little faster. Performance tempo would go like this. 1, 2, here we go. Down, up, C, okay, you know, switching up strums is a great way to keep your brain flexible and fresh. You know, our brains get stale as we get older. I know, and brain fog and stuff like that. So definitely I want to challenge you to experiment with other strums to keep your brain fresh, if anything. I also include just some down strums in my chord chart because I think down strums are really powerful. They really break up the texture of the strumming. They make it so much more interesting for your listener. So when you see something that looks like this, what's wrong with that? Just follow along with the words and just do a down strum right before those words. Phrase endings. Usually we're not singing all the way, we're not pushing out our vocals past that phrase ending, and frequently you will have a chord after the lyrics have stopped. It happens all the time in music. So on these Fs, I recommend that you add more interest by doing a super active island strum. The super active island strum just has one more strum than an island strum, and the activity in this strum is in the beginning, so it'll really flip that modified bouncy strum on its head. It'll definitely give your listeners a change of texture. Sounds like this on an F. It's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Grab your ukulele. Let's do it several times. Here we go. 1, 2, nice and slow. Down, up, 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 down, up. Let's practice being flexible. Let's go from modified bouncy strum on an F to the super active one. So here we go. Modified first. 1, 2, ready, begin. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, let's do that again. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. One last time. Ready, begin. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So if you need to repeat this section, I will put a timestamp here so you can go over that and get your mind on board. I know that you've, well, actually it's not your mind on board, your mind's got it, it's your mind getting it into your hands. I get that. If you want to elevate that F further, I'm going to recommend that you do a little bit of a one finger chord transformation. I recommend the down, up, down of that super active island strum becomes an A minor 7. And I'm not going to do it with like an open A minor 7. I'm going to keep my F fingering because we're doing an F, and I'm just going to add my ring finger to the 3rd fret of the E string. You don't need this finger up here, but why mess with a good thing? You're going to need it again. So you're going from the F, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Let's do that a few times just to practice modified bouncy strum first. 1, 2, here we go. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, do it again. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. It's a great way to transform your sound. Again, good for your brain, good for your audience. Now, if you're with me so far, you know I said, well, you know, I would try something different than the island strum, but there are times when I think the island strum works perfectly in this piece because Paul McCartney brings out the brass and the saxophone and all that kind of stuff for some breaks in it, gives it a little bit more of that disco sound. So the island strum's good for that. So you have these other sections in the verse, and the yellow chords, that's where I do an island strum. It sounds like this. 1, 2, here we go. What's wrong with that island strum? I'd like to know, island strum, 'cause here I go, island strum, and bounce on the D minor and the G. I'd go back into the modified bouncy strum. Do you have to do that? No. Island strum and modified bouncy strum are 4 beats long. Follow your bliss. I also think the island strum is an excellent fit for this section. So I'll play it slowly. Grab your ukulele every time you see a chord in yellow. It's an island strum. There's lots of single down strums, and then if it's not in yellow, it is a modified bouncy strum. So 1, 2, here we go. Love doesn't come in a minute. Sometimes it doesn't come at all. I only know that when I'm in it, it isn't silly. Love isn't silly. Love isn't silly at all. So all this color coding that we've been going over is included in my chord chart and in the play along. And if you'd like to get your hands on a chord chart, you can do that through Patreon. You have access to over 200 chord charts, everything that I've done here on YouTube, which is quite a bit. And you're also supporting this channel because, quite frankly, I have expenses to do this, and I have been pretty faithful about getting a video up a week for over 4 years. So if you'd like to support these efforts and spread the ukulele love, yeah, and I've got a link down below for my merchandise as well. Consider come joining me on Patreon, $3 a month, chord charts, free Zoom sessions. It's a deal. Hits on the ukulele goes like this: a regular C, E minor 7, into singing. So just to kind of echo a little bit of what happens on the original with the Wings. This song was written by Paul and his wife, Linda McCartney. This was after the breakup of the Beatles, and he was touring extensively and performing and recording with Wings. And this song was a response to some of the criticism that Paul McCartney had gotten. Even when he was with the Beatles, John Lennon had said of Maxwell Silverhammer, I'll put a link down to that below, he said it's one of Paul's granny songs. The critics were saying that he's got kind of soppy, sentimental love songs. And Paul McCartney's kind of joking around that you know, I think the world needs some silly love songs. I agree, don't you? So this song was #1 in the US for 5 weeks. It was also #1 in Ireland and Canada. Where else? Oh, but you know what? It only reached #2 in the UK. Go figure. It's been covered by many different people, and it was even included in the movie Moulin Rouge. Your starting pitch, you think the people. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Do. I caught myself doing 2 errors in there. I hope it didn't mess you up. Okay, first of all, everything that I said about Paul McCartney and his singing that in yesterday applies here. So if you didn't catch that tutorial, I'll link it down below. He's doing lots of vertical. He's making the inside of his mouth very round. So he's not going this way for I, he's going I. Of course he's British, but it makes for a better tone. He's also doing a little lip flare on this. I can share you something from my own personal experience. This isn't the best key for me, but it is the original key that he did it in. And so I'm finding that I'm just got a little bit, you know, it's in between what I call a break. So my tip for dealing with that is get off those notes. If you feel like there's just a little bit, like you're not hitting it with a beautiful tone, and it's supposed to be sustained on a vowel sound, all vowel sounds, you know, get sustained, right? Because we don't sustain R's unless you're a pirate. So I just make, when I hear or feel that strain in my mouth, boom, I try to get off of that. You know, I'm not Adele, I'm not Celine Dion, and I'm not even Paul McCartney. So I don't have to be. I hit the note, I back off of it, taper off. I don't have to sustain that note out. I am, you know, I have the responsibility of playing the only instrument and singing too. So yeah, and I'm sure your audience will still love you. Okay, well, that concludes this. Thanks for staying to the very end. Thank you to all my patrons. I absolutely could not do this without your support. YouTube doesn't even cover my expenses. So thank you so very much. YouTube should be suggesting something here for you, and check out my description box where you get links to my merchandise and all that good stuff. I'll catch you in the next video.